All right, today we are jumping into a market that is making some really serious moves, the Qatar Stock Exchange. We're going to break down its, well, pretty surprising performance, put a spotlight on the star players, and take a look at the key forces that are shaping its future as we look ahead. So, when you think about Qatar's economy, your mind probably jumps straight to energy, right? Oil and gas. Well, get this. Over 60% of its GDP growth is now coming from outside that sector. This is a huge, massive strategic shift away from depending on just one resource. And honestly, it's the single most important thing driving its stock market today. So, to get our bearings, let's start with the big picture. You can think of this next part as kind of like checking the market's current vital signs. First up, the main indicator, the QE index. As of the middle of November 2025, it's sitting just over 10,500 points. This number, this is our baseline. It's the pulse we use to measure the health of the entire market. Now let's talk about scale. The total value of all the companies listed on the exchange, it's about 183 billion US dollars. You know, to put that into perspective, that's bigger than the entire economy of a country like Hungary. It just goes to show you the significant amount of capital that's in play here. And here is the bottom line for anyone who's invested this year. A really solid 7.6% gain. I mean, in a year that's been marked by a lot of global economic uncertainty, a return like this shows the market isn't just surviving, it's actually thriving. Okay, so the overall market is up, we get that, but which specific companies are the ones really driving that growth? Let's zoom in a little and look at the star performers. Are we just talking about the usual energy giants, or is there something else going on under the surface? Let's find out who the big winners really are. And here they are. Just take a look at this list for a second. What's really fascinating here is the mix. Yeah, at number one, you've got Gulf International Services, but right behind it, two massive telecom players, Ooredoo and Vodafone, plus some diversified holding companies. See, this isn't just an energy story. The gains are spread out across really key parts of Qatar's new diversifying economy. Let's just pause on that top performer for a moment. Gulf International Services has surged an incredible 44% this year alone. That kind of explosive growth is exactly why investors are starting to take a much closer look at this market. Okay, this all looks pretty promising, right? But the real question is, how does an investor actually get involved? So let's break down the playbook for tapping into what's happening in the Qatari market. It pretty much boils down to three key things that are happening right now. First, new reforms are making access way easier than it used to be. Second, you can target specific sectors that are poised for high growth. And third, new ways to invest are opening up. Things like REITs, which are basically real estate funds, and even Islamic bonds, which you might know as sukuk. So the crucial thing here is knowing where that growth is actually concentrated. We're talking banking and finance. They're stable, they offer good yields. Of course, energy and industrials are leveraging these huge LNG expansions. Telecom and tech are riding that whole digital wave, and real estate is still getting a boost from that post-FIFA tourism boom. And the thing is, all of these are directly tied into Qatar's big national strategy, their Vision 2030 plan. So we've seen the numbers, we've seen the opportunities. Now let's zoom out one last time and look at the bigger forces that are really shaping this market's future. You know, every market has this constant tug of war, and Qatar is no exception. On one side, you have the headwinds. These are the negative pressures. Things like the classic volatility in oil prices, regional tensions, and of course, investors just taking profits after a good run. But on the other side, the tailwinds pushing it forward are really powerful. That economic diversification we keep talking about, strong profits from companies, and government reforms that are specifically designed to attract more investment. Which, of course, brings us to the big question. With all these powerful forces at play, the risks from global markets clashing with the strength of local reforms and diversification, is the Qatar market finally set to break through that psychological 11,000-point barrier? Well, that is the key story to watch as we head into 2026.
Please like and subscribe for more trading content, and then subscribe for more daily, weekly trading insights.